Last time we spoke about the industry analysis, and last time we discussed only the first part of the industry analysis, only the economic feature of the industry. And today we are going to continue the question how to analyze, how to conduct the industry analysis, but today we are speaking about rivals. Today we are speaking about competitors. And I'd like to discuss with you the model of 5 forces created by Michael Porter. Actually, this model is very simple to understand and very obvious. The main idea of this model is, and you can see the main parts of the model here, that the main idea is that in any industry, we have to take to account not only the competitors who are changing our competitiveness of our company, but we have to take into account other factors. Influence from the company which want to enter our market, pressure from substitutes, pressure from our suppliers, and pressure for our buyers. Why we should do so? Just an example, we will speak about it in details, but even now I'd like you to set an example to make it clear. For example, you are thirsty, and for this purpose, I mean for satisfying the need, you can buy water, soda water maybe, but you also can buy juice, but you also can buy maybe even beer, or maybe even some fruits. So in these very for satisfying this very need, all these products are substitute products, and we have to take into account when we are analyzing, for example, the market of soda water. Generally, in different times, in different situations, there are different substitute products. Yes, you are completely right if you think so. But what we have to do, we have to analyze all the situation. But now I set this example not to think about substitutes. We will speak about it a little bit later, believe me. But I'd like you to think about the fact that when we are thinking about the competitiveness of the company, we have to evaluate not only competitors but some other forces. And let's begin our lecture. So now we are discussing the question 2 from the list of the questions from the previous lecture. What is competition like, and how strong are each of the competitive forces? So we have to understand the main sources of competitive pressure to our company. And the main idea of Professor Michael Porter was that we have to evaluate not only the competition level of competition in the industry, but we have to evaluate 4 more factors. rivalry among competing sellers, it is the main, yes, but we have to evaluate companies which want to sell the products which are substitute products to our product. Then maybe some companies want to enter our market because, for example, our profitability is very high. That's why other companies also want to enter our market. And in some cases, our suppliers and our clients can also add some competitive pressure, not actually competitive pressure, but can change our competitiveness. How it could be? In some cases, some supplier can say, okay, you have to buy more goods if you want to make if you want to get your raw materials from our company. And in some cases, it is possible for you to say, okay, I don't want new options, so I will buy in another company. For example, if you are buying office paper and your company needs, let's say, about a box of the office paper per month. So box from standard box from 4 packs of office paper. And the supplier says, okay, the minimum lot to be bought in our company is 10 boxes of office paper. Only in this case it is possible for you to buy it. If some company says it to your company, I think you believe that something was wrong with their mind, and you would say, okay, you don't want to sell just one box, okay, we don't want to buy it, and that's all. And you will buy this office paper in another shop, and that's all. But sometimes it is not possible to say goodbye to your supplier, because of some reasons. Speaking a little bit forward, if the product is not standard or it is a deficit of the product at the market, and if the product is not available. And the same situation connected with buyers. Sometimes, not always, sometimes buyers can push on our company. For example, if you are buying some bread, and let's think about this situation not from the company's perspective, but from the buyer's perspective. So you are coming to the shop, and you are saying, okay, I don't want to buy the bread in the plastic packaging. I'm thinking green, and I'm kindly asking you to sell the bread in paper packs. Only in paper packs. And listen to me carefully. If you not deliver the bread in paper packs, I will not buy the bread in your shop. I think if you say something like this, the lady or the man in this shop will say, okay, please don't be so nervous, but he or she will think about you that you are a little bit mad, and certainly nobody will do anything for you. But let's think about the same situation, but if this buyer is very big, and for example, this is the net of some supermarkets. So, for example, the department of Silpor, net of supermarkets, supplying department will speak with you if you are producer of the bread, and the manager can say, okay, our company thinks green, and if you want to sell the bread through our supermarkets, you have to follow to our principles. And in this very case, you have to follow to this request, and generally it will be maybe some additional costs for you. Even if the packaging is cheaper, you have to find another supplier of these paper packs. Then you have to reinstall the production process, etc. So it will change the competitiveness of your company. And generally, from these examples, I think you even now you understood that yes, we have to analyze competitors of our company, but the level of competitiveness of our company is connected not only with other competitors, but also it is connected with 4 more factors. And today we are speaking about these very factors. And generally, I'm stressing one more time that this model is very simple to use and very easy to understand. And speaking a little bit forward, your task will be to create this model for your company. This is the picture. Usually it is written like this. Competitive pressure is usually put in the center, competitive pressure of sellers, of existing sellers, and other 4 factors are put around the main factor. And during the first lecture, I'd like to speak with you about the main factor, about the rivalry among existing firms and potential entrance to our industry. So let's begin with the competition among competing sellers. Actually, anyway, this force is the biggest. This force is the most important force of competition, because actually everybody in our industry is in the same conditions. Thereafter, everybody will have usually same suppliers, same buyers. So the biggest number of factors are connected with the fact how efficient we are in organizing of our activity. So anyway, when using this model, you have to begin this factor, and also anyway, when you are thinking about the competition in the industry, you have to think about these force. Generally, the level of competition can be even from friendly to cutthroat. What does it mean friendly? Sometimes companies, even if they are competitors, they are helping each other for different reasons. It is a well-known situation when US companies in car production, they helped each other to protect the market from Japanese cars. It was a situation about 40 years ago. Yes, Japanese companies finally came to US market, but nobody became bankrupt. I mean, from US companies. It's because the competitors helped each other. But sometimes the competition is really cutthroat. Usually it's because the fact that the profitability of the industry is very low, but it's not possible to leave the industry due to some reasons. And in this fact, we are trying not to get more money, but we are trying to have less losses. And in this situation, the competition will be really cutthroat. And also, before speaking about these factors in details, I'd like to stress that generally we have to use a process approach to management. It means that we have to think about the competition not in statics but in dynamics. It means that we have to keep in mind that if we create a strategy and if we implement it, our competitors will not just wait. They will also do some steps. And regarding the main factor of the competition, the main competitions of the industry, competitive forces of the industry, there are some, regardless of the characteristics of the industry, there are some common rules. And I'd like to speak about these common rules now. First, if the competitors are equal to size and capabilities, the competition is higher. Why it is so? It's because the fact that if there are a lot of companies which are equal by size, and capabilities, we can say that in this very case, market is closer to pure competition. So in this situation, every move, every successful move will provide more profits. Then, the level of competition is higher when demand for the product is growing slowly. You know, if the market is growing and the level of growth is very high, it is not a need to cut some part of the market from our rivals, because there are so many new customers. So our task is just to satisfy their needs, and that's all. But let's think it is the left picture. So if the market is growing, so we just, and our company also wants to grow, so we are just satisfying new customers, and that's all. Please think about the market of smartphones as it was about 10 years ago. People wanted to change button mobile telephones to the smartphones, and generally the demand was really high. And nowadays it is very big deal to persuade somebody to buy a new smartphone. So generally we have the demand, but compared this the situation which was 10 years ago, the market is not growing as fast as it was. So now if the company wants to have a lot of new customers, we have to cut this market share from our rivals. And in this very case, you are not the only clever company at the market. So in this very case, everybody will do like so. And in this very case, the level of competition will be much higher. The level of competition increases when strong companies outside the industry want to enter the industry and to buy some companies. Actually, the best example to explain this situation, as for me, is connected with Philip Morris company. Then Philip Morris decided to buy Miller Brewing Company. It was a situation about 30 years ago, and even then they understood, I mean the management of Philip Morris Company, they understood that they should invest money not only into tobacco business but also outside tobacco business, because the attitude to smokers became worse and worse in society, generally in society. So they decided to buy Miller Company, and the company was just few steps before bankruptcy. so almost bankrupt. And they decided to merge this company. And about this situation, they didn't spend a lot of money to this merge. Of Miller Brewing Company. And they decided, they actually didn't know anything about beer, anything. But, I mean, professionally, but they knew a lot of marketing. And just two examples how they use the marketing department of the Philip Morris company to promote the products of Miller Brewery. The first, Miller had very expensive beer, and I mean not all types of beer were expensive, but it was some type of premium expensive beer, and they provided the advertising campaign that this beer is beer for special moments. So if you have a special moment, you have to buy this very beer. But let's try to think about this situation, and I think we will repeat the ideas of Philip Morris. Philip Morris marketing department thought that if a person has a special moment, for example, let's think that if you generally drink alcohol and you have some special meeting with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Okay, and so if it is a usual situation, you are used to having beer, but this situation are the special one. Maybe it is some date, maybe 3 years ago you became a couple, but I think in this very case you will choose not the most expensive beer, but in this very case you will choose maybe champagne, maybe some wine, but not the most expensive beer. So they discovered this situation, and they decided to change the advertising, that something like that, I don't remember, something like that. If you have time, we have beer. It means that our beer is the best beer. So if you want to drink the best beer, you have to buy these very type. And by the way, even if the first ideas of Miller was right, that if somebody really chooses some for special moments this kind of special beer, we have it is very rare situation to have a special moment. Yes, we have it. Okay, not frequent than not more frequent than once a month. Yes, so if it is usual, so it's not special. And the percentage of these like special dates are not very big. So the demand to this beer for special moment was very low. And after changing the marketing campaign, they tried to involve the uh, rich people who want to buy the best beer in the world. So for them it will be not the drink for special moments, but just the drink for every day. But yes, it is expensive, but in any society there are a lot of very rich people who wish to purchase the most quality products, and including food, including drinks. And after the change in the advertising campaign, the sales were increased phenomenally. And the second story about the same company, they had a beer with less alcohol and less calories. Generally, maybe you know that in Ukraine we have like zero rule, that if you are a driver, so you must have zero alcohol in your blood, but in a lot of countries they have rule that it could be some alcohol in your blood. Actually, I don't remember the figures, but generally let it be some percentage. And actually it is very rare situation that in some countries there are beer without alcohol, totally without alcohol. So it was beer with less alcohol and less calories. But this type of beer was not popular, and they ran research. They conducted the analysis of the market, and they discovered that if a person drank this type of beer, other people thought about this person that this person was sick, was ill, and it wasn't possible for the person to drink normal beer. And they decided just to change marketing, also to change marketing campaign. They told something like that: so our beer have just 1/3 of calories and 1/3 of alcohol, so you can drink this trademark, this beer 3 times more. You can drink this beer 3 times more. And also this marketing campaign was successful. What's about these examples? You know that if people decided to switch to Miller Brewing, it means that some other companies lost some parts of the market. So competitiveness, competitive pressure at this marketing became higher. When strong companies outside the industry decided to buy a company within the industry, or decide to enter the industry. Rivalry is stronger when customers' cost to switch brands are low. I decided to put this picture here. This lady is thinking what jam to buy. I think there are some gems. And actually, maybe it is something red from raspberry, maybe it's some orange from peach, but okay, it doesn't matter. But she is thinking now, and she will choose some can, and that's all. She didn't have to invest additional money to switch the brands. And think about the situation. Okay, I should add the picture just to show the contrast. Think about the situation that you have some coffee machine and you are choosing some type of coffee, and maybe you have it is possible to buy some new sort of coffee, some new kind of coffee, but for this packaging you have to buy another special coffee machine. So in this very case, you are, how to say, you are connected more with the previous supplier. So if customers of our industry have practically no cost for switching from one brand to another brand, we can say that rivalry is stronger. Then, it is very close to the beginning of our to the factor one, that rivalry is stronger when one or more competitors is dissatisfied with its market position. And if it is so, this company will try to cut some pieces from market from other competitors. Sometimes it is very difficult to leave the industry. And in this very case, we have to stay in the industry, and we have to support our business even if we have losses. Let's think about the situation that our company is a vertically integrated company, and we have some division to produce some details for our company. Maybe, let's think that we are producers of cars, and we have some subdivision, subunit of our company which produces batteries for car. And maybe there is the new type of batteries, and it is much better. And actually, if we are not connected with the company, with our subunit, we just switch to another supplier, and that's all. But it's not possible for us, because it is our division, and we have maybe some agreements with labor unions, and we have to stay in the industry even if it is not favorable for us. And we understand that we have losses, but we have to stay in the industry. So in this very case, and I think the situation in this very case will be connected not only with our company, so in this very case the situation at this market with competitive pressure will be really cutthroat. And how to what you have to do in your paper. Actually, I will come to it at the end of our lecture, but let's discuss it now. You have to evaluate every competitive force. So you will have 5 estimations, and at the basis of these 5 estimations you will have to evaluate the general competitive pressure of the industry. The main estimation is the most important estimation is here when you are evaluating the competitive pressure among sellers. And then you will have to correct it having done the calculations about these 4 forces, these. So when you are evaluating competitive pressure in the industry, actually there are a lot of models, but these models are beyond our course. I don't want to spend time on it because it's rather difficult. So at this level, it is your expert estimation. So 1 means it is the best situation that the level of competition is very low. So the market is growing, there are not a big number of companies at this very market, so we don't have competitive pressure in the industry. And dear students, please keep in mind that here you are writing not about your company, but here you are writing about the market. When you speak about suppliers and buyers within the model about suppliers and buyers, these suppliers and these buyers are connected with your company, only with your company. But when you are analyzing these 3 factors are the same for all enterprises within the industry. So here you analyzing not the company but the industry. The 5 is the worst situation for our company. So there are a lot of companies. The market is at the stage of maturity or even declining. And maybe some companies from other industries want to enter the market, or it is not possible for some companies to leave the market thereafter. Everybody is very aggressive, has very aggressive strategy in the market. So in this very situation, the competition will be like 5. It is the worst situation for us. 3 is in the middle, and 4 is between middle and high, and 2 is in the middle between the best situation for us and the middle situation for us. So it will be your evaluation. So you are in your task, you are describing the situation in the industry, and after describing the situation, you have to evaluate the level of competition. Please, when you do it, please don't write these theoretical information. This theoretical information just some tips for you. So it's not your obligation to write it, but it should be your ideas about the industry. Just this and this all. No theoretical information. And the second force which I'd like to present today is the competitive pressure from the companies which want to enter our industry. When we are evaluating the competitive force of potential entry, we have to evaluate barriers to entry. What are the barriers to entry? Barriers to entry are the factors which can protect the market from other companies, from entering other companies. And please don't think that the high level of competition protects the market. Now we are speaking not about this. Now we are speaking about the situation that in some cases it is not possible for the company to produce the product at all. Or it is not possible to sell it at all. It is possible to produce, but it is not possible to sell it at all. So here, okay, I will show you with the help of this picture. This lady now is looking at different trademarks, but all the trademarks are presented at this very shelf. But in some cases it is not possible to produce for example, the gem, or to put this product to the shelf. And now, when speaking about barriers to entry, we are speaking about this very situation, that it is not possible to produce the product or to put it in to the shelf to be sold. First, could be it is economies of scale. It could be connected with the situation that we are competing with the company which has very big volumes of production, and in this very case the price for this company will be the cost for this company will be much lower. So for example, you are here and the big company is here. So the price of big company will be less than your costs. Sometimes there is a limitation of access to technologies, to know-how, so generally sometimes it's not possible to organize a production of some products. Sometimes customers are interrelated with companies, and it's not possible for you to sell the product generally. I think the fourth barrier has all your companies, all your industries of your company's resources requirements. So here, please mention how much the investor should invest to set up the business. Actually, you should evaluate this amount during the previous stage, during the industry analysis. Sometimes the producers are interrelated with suppliers, and due to these special interrelations and interconnections, they had a unique possibility to buy some raw materials. Actually, maybe you know that about 5 or 6 years ago it was a deficit of cocoa beans, and this is the basic raw materials to produce chocolates. And you know, if the company is small, so it was very difficult for the company to buy these raw material. Access to distribution channels. Very interesting story. Sometimes it is possible to produce a product, but it's not possible to sell it. Kodak company, which produced films for film camera. Now we have digital cameras, and actually it is inbuilt in any smartphone, and actually more than one, I would say. But some times ago, maybe you know it from movies, we had photo cameras with films, and these films, it was two main producers, Fuji and Kodak, and there were a lot of small producers of these films. And maybe you believe me that Kodak produced two trademarks. Kodak Gold, they had this trademark as for professional photographs, and like usual Kodak for everyday use, for everybody, I would say. And they decided to produce a little bit cheaper films to enter the market of cheap films. And it was very funny situation that it was not possible for them to sell it, because supermarkets, every supermarket has its own private label, and they didn't want to have a competitor to these to this product. So if your product is expensive, so please, you are welcome to sell it in our supermarket. But if your product is cheap, so we have our cheap product. So we don't want to let you to sell your product in our company. And that's why this attempt was unsuccessful. So it wasn't possible for the Kodak to sell these films these films in the supermarkets. Regulatory policies. Sometimes we have some governmental restrictions. For example, if speaking about notary business, it should be not more than, as far as I remember, one notary, not more than one notary to 10,000 people living in the city, or something like that. But actually, it is some proportion. I'm not sure about the figures in the proportion, but I'm sure that there is a proportion. So you will have to, even if you have the possibility to have to provide these services, if you have a diploma of lawyer, it is not possible for you to set up the business before. There are two possibilities. Maybe somebody wants to exit the business, or the population of the city becomes bigger. And also there are some international trade restrictions which protects some market from international companies. And also you have to, when you are evaluating this competitive force, you have to think first, you have to think about the how attractive this business for every company, and also how easy to enter this market for every new entry. And the situation one, it means that there is no barrier to entry. It is the fifth, it is the worst for us. 5 is there is no barriers to entry, so it is very easy to enter our industry. If it is very easy to enter our industry, the level of competition will be high, because anybody can enter this business, and vice versa. There are a lot of barriers to entry, so even if our market is profitable, nobody can enter this market, or maybe it can enter our market, but with some problems. 3 is some medium situation. So let's begin. The 5 is the biggest competitive pressure, and when it is easy to enter, so somebody sees that our industry is profitable, and the company can think, okay, why shouldn't I invest to this very business? Okay, I will enter this business, and if it is possible for the company, because there is no barriers to entry, so there is 5. And if the industry is protected, so the estimation is 1. And 3 means something in the middle, and 4 is in the middle between medium and the worst situation for us, and 2 is in the middle between medium situation and the best for us. And generally, the less level of competition, the better for our company if we are in the business. So if the level of competition is 1, it is the best situation for our company. Okay. So I'm stopping here and then I will answer to your questions.